We got full data, all the information we need. We know exactly what to do to your screens. Next time, nothing will come through except light, and only as much of that as you feel like admitting. You can wait as close to a vortex as you please, for as long as you please, until you get exactly the activity and time interval that you want. You will be just as comfortable and just as safe as though you were home in bed." "Sure of that?" "Absolutely. Or at least as sure as we can be of anything that hasn't happened yet. But I see that your guardian angel here is eyeing her clock somewhat pointedly, so I'd better be doing a flit before they toss me down a shaft. Clear ether, Storm. Clear ether, Chief." And that is how Storm Cloud, atomic physicist, became the most narrowly specialized specialist in all the annals of science. How he became Storm Cloud, Vortex Blaster, the galaxy's only Vortex Blaster. End of The Vortex Blaster by E. E. Doc Smith.